correspondent. Charlie Sykes is a conservative commentator, also an MSNBC contributor. And Michael Allen is managing director of Beacon Global Strategies. It's an advisory firm on intelligence and defense matters. Previously, he was the Republican staff director on the House Intelligence Committee. A big thanks to all of you for being with me. All right, let me start with you, my friend. Let's talk about those tweets in a moment, but start us off with why this particular revelation about the special prosecutor now, the special counsel rather, that this is such a significant legal turning point.
Well, on the tweets, Craig, you know there's an old saying in Washington, haters gonna hate, a president's gonna tweet. Obviously, this goes back generations. No, it doesn't. I think the president's Twitter habit has a legal problem and legal exposure, and that's why you're seeing his own allies, Republican leaders, talking about that. To the underlying issue, though, as you raise, everything changed with this Washington Post report, now confirmed as well by NBC News intelligence sources, that there is an open criminal inquiry into the president's conduct while in office. That is different from anything about the campaign, which is the past, and obviously more serious than anything about AIDS, like Mike Flynn, who previously reported was dealing with FBI questions. And that doesn't mean he did anything wrong, but also he's not the president. So all of that changes. The implications are large. Number one, the president now has to deal with this. Number two, the deputy attorney general is a witness to the firing of Comey and probably has to recuse himself. Number three, White House staff probably need lawyers. They have rights too, and those rights will not be fully represented by government counsel.
And number four, of course, haters are going to tweet. Charlie, let me read to you what the New York Times reported the day before the Washington Post story hit. This is President Trump may decide to fire special counsel Mueller. Quote, people close to Mr. Trump say he is so volatile they cannot be sure that he will not change his mind about Mr. Mueller if he finds out anything to lead him to believe the investigation has been compromised. How itchy a trigger finger does the president have here, Charlie Sykes?
Though we're going to find out, because there is certainly a very real possibility he may still fire Mueller in this particular case. In fact,
you think so, really?
No. Well, look at what some of the allies, some of the people around the president are saying. Look what Newt Gingrich is saying. Look what people like Sean Hannity are saying. And if this president believes that this investigation poses a mortal threat to his presidency, which it perhaps might, you can imagine him deciding that he was going to do this. And look, the rhetoric that you're hearing, the accusations of misconduct, of conflicts, of leaks, seem to be creating a possible pretext act. Now, it would be a cataclysmic, but then again, who around the table thought that he was going to fire the FBI director?
Michael, let's talk about the White House's apparent lack of interest in this Russia interference story. This is from the Wall Street Journal today. It quotes an unnamed source who says that during a call to NSA Director Admiral Michael Rogers, we just saw him there on the screen a short time ago, the president questioned the veracity of the intelligence community's judgment that Russia had interfered with the election. We also heard Jeff Sessions, the Attorney General, say this during a Tuesday hearing. Take a listen.
You received no briefing on the Russian active measures in connection with the 2016 election?
No, I don't believe I ever did.
No briefing. No briefing at all. Taken together, does it trouble you at all that neither the president nor the attorney general seem to be especially concerned with the Russia election investigation?
I think the president should have gotten out long ago and owned this issue, have been the most outraged about it, and tried to assert himself as a foreign policy leader and say, hey, listen, Russia may have intervened, may not have affected the outcome of the election, but no one else is more upset than I am about Russia's interference. I think that would have been much more politically astute, but also the more important thing to do in terms of national security.
Why don't you think he did that?
I think that he's been distracted the entire time by the meme that, hey, listen, if Russia interfered, therefore your presidency is illegitimate. And I think all of his actions have been colored by this feeling that people are out to delegitimize him as president, whereas if it would have been much better had he started by saying, I'm more upset than you are. Russia is going to pay for this, and I'm going to get to the bottom of this, and I want everyone to cooperate. Instead, we've had a series of self-inflicted wounds that leads us to the Post stories from overnight.
All right, back to those tweets again here for a moment. We